I like this.
Did you just Vogue?
Josh did it first.
All right, well, that's fair.
And then I did it, and then Alexis did it.
I honestly thought Rick started it.
I'll fucking do the heartbeat. I don't give a fuck.
Were you doing the throw it away from the hit?
No, I was doing the bus stop. Oh, the Q-tip? Yeah, Q-tip. Throw it away.
I think he's doing the dice too much.
The bus stop.
I prefer this one.
Yeah.
I missed you guys.
I was just thinking, I missed you guys so much.
I spent too much time in the Bay Area growing up, like, so anyways, it's really easy. You smell some piss. Just
yeah.
Anyways, welcome to the Challenge Fandom Podcast, where we talk about random shit and eventually the challenge. You've got myself, Rick Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes. We've got Josh motherfucking Chambers and Alexis Tex Rawson. Let's go.
Woo.
We're breaking down episode 17 and 18. Episode 17, location change. What the fuck just happened?
Speaking of location change, you're back. Just keeping you on your toes.
Don't fuck with us right now.
Maybe it's because you said 17.
Maybe. It just doesn't want us to do this. Anyways, I'm just going to start this all over again. Welcome to the Challenge Fandom fucking podcast. I'm Rick Hayes. This is my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes. Got Josh motherfucking Chambers, Alexis Tex Rawson. Let's fucking go. We're here to break down episode 17 and 18. Long story short, we recorded for like 2 hours on episode 17, but the audio was fucked. We don't know what happened. We're still trying to figure it out. If this is trash, you'll never hear it either. You might. I don't know.
Probably will, honestly. So
yeah, but we're going to do a very abridged version of our overall theme and what we thought on 17. And then we're going to get into the first part of this final, which was called The End of the Era, or The End of an Era, part 1. It's not really the end of an era. Like, you're telling me no one from one of the eras is coming back? Like, shut the fuck up. Stupid.
It's like continuation of the era.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we just put finale era? That would have made just as much sense. Just putting that out there.
Just saying.
It's the final countdown era.
The final countdown.
Tip your waitresses. We'll be here all night. Anyways, all right. Getting into episode 17. We're not going to do the 30,000 foot view, the grades, anything like that. The main part of the whole beginning of that episode was the location change, which we all agreed that we really loved. Like, it's become a staple of the challenges, like kind of the overall theme.
Right.
And we're glad to see it brought back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Honestly, so they stopped doing the location change right around COVID, right? I believe is when they stopped doing location changes. And then when it was done, like when the world opened back up, they never started doing them again. And so honestly, I thought the days of location changes were just done. So this was really exciting. I was very happy to see them go to a different location. It just, I don't know, it to me, it kind of separates the final from the season, right? When it's like done in a completely different area. Now, I was hoping that they would be going to a different kind of environment altogether.
More green.
No, I was hoping they've been, in like warm climate. I was hoping they were going somewhere cold. Like, I like to see those contrasting, when they do the location changes. I like to see the locations, contrast each other as far as, they play the season in a cold area, go do the final somewhere warm, or, you know what I mean? Just something that's different from what they've been doing all season. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know. And this is something we'll actually discuss a little bit later. I don't know the exact, temperature differences between, where they were and then where they went in the Philippines. But it's still just, it's green land, trees, water. Like, it's just exactly the same. Why'd you guys change locations? Like, what was the point in changing?
I mean, my assumption is it's like, what's the difference between Las Vegas and Phoenix? You know what I mean? You're going from hot climate to hot climate, tropical to tropical.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word I was trying to think of. Tropical. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It didn't give me any like, oh wow, like this is going to be something different from where they were all season. It was just like, oh, this is the same thing, same place that they've been all season, just a different, you know.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of led to believe it was going to be something totally different because
gonna be a lot
didn't
less
TJ
green?
say something? Yeah.
Yes.
And then we think like, oh, okay, snow, or like, oh, okay, desert. But like the Philippines is just normal, right?
Well, and you know what? Give TJ credit. We haven't seen a lot of green. We've seen a lot of blue, you know, in this final.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
maybe that is the reason.
And we've seen sand too.
yeah, some sand too. But I'm trying to give TJ the easy out on this.
Yeah, I know.
When he really,
I think he was just psyching them out. Like, I think that line was supposed to be like to psych them out, to psych the fans out. He knew, you know, well, obviously he knew where they were going, but I'm just saying, I don't think there was some like hidden meaning behind it. I think he was just trying to psych them out and make them think that either they were going somewhere snowy or to the desert, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they ever thought that they would be doing that. I don't think they ever thought like, oh, he must be talking about water. Like, that we're going to be swimming forever.
yeah, probably not. I mean, I really thought they were going to end up like in Europe or somewhere in South America and make them actually travel, but it is what it is. The one thing, look, like this is the meat and potatoes of this episode, the part right before the final, which was the daily Fortress Bricks, or holy shit.
What do you guys think of this daily?
I personally fucking love the daily. Like, it's everything I look for in a daily. It takes endurance. It takes strength. It takes the ability to solve a puzzle. Like, it's everything. The only thing that was missing was swimming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really liked it.
I liked it too. I also heard that everybody's like patterns on the things were different. And
see, I didn't know that.
The boards were different colors. They didn't line up the same. It wasn't like everybody went blue, pink, green, blue, pink, green.
Like you couldn't copy each other.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I did too. Yeah. Josh, what do you think?
Dude, I like it. Same thing you said. It had every aspect that you wanted in a daily, except for the swimming and the eating thing. Thank goodness. And everybody was, you know, you felt like you did that daily.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I did want to ask you guys about, and I forget who brought this up. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I do remember. It was Corey, the Raging Cajun Viator. He does plan on coming back. He's just got life stuff going on, and we're always family first here.
Always.
But he always knows he has an open invite to come on whenever he wants. But me and him were talking. He goes, dude, as a guy and seeing what this daily was, knowing I'm already in the final, if I come in last place, the only thing I get is a 3-minute penalty. Now, not knowing what the final is, that's like, fuck, dude, that can make a huge difference. But what do you guys think? Do you think it would have been worth taking the last place and not like overdoing yourself in this daily?
My honest opinion is I don't like the fact that the final placement of a daily holds you back in a final starting. You don't get to start on the same level as everybody else. But dude, 3 minutes can seem like a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the 3 minutes was going to be a big difference. As we saw, it really wasn't that bad, but I don't know. I still wouldn't really want to come in last.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, like, I think in this final daily, knowing that I'm already in the final, there's no way that I can not make it to the final. I'm probably not going to like go all out and give it like every ounce of energy that I have, because I have no idea when this final is going to start. But I'm probably also not going to like come in last. I'm probably going to try to aim for, you know, second, you know, try to stay a little bit behind whoever's in first, which was Jordan. You know, but I'm not going to I'm not going to aim for last, but if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to make up that time more than likely in the final.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing for almost $500,000, $400,000. So $290 after taxes. I'm going to go all out. Like, I don't want to give myself a disadvantage, you know, and more than likely you're getting a day or two before you start the final is kind of what you would think. Because
you would think,
you know, because they didn't go straight from that daily into the final. You can definitely tell that there was a day or two between it. So your body has a little bit of time to recoup.
I guess.
And I think the counterpoint to it is obviously it's a different situation because all the guys were guaranteed a final spot and all the girls were not. But we saw Tori come into this with the idea that, oh, well, Kara's got a 3-minute penalty because she came in last, you know, the time before.
Yeah, the final.
So all I have to do is not lose. I just have to kind of keep up with Kara a little bit. And then all of a sudden we see Tori just fall behind. And all of a sudden, the only person that she's ahead of is Michelle. And then, you know, and I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but I figured might as well just talk about this all at once.
Yeah.
She falls behind and all of a sudden Michelle's there and they have to solve the puzzle together. And Michelle smokes her in the puzzle. And all of a sudden Tori's last and she has to go in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it kind of fucked her over and having that mindset of I don't have to win.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
that's true.
Yeah,
just throwing that out there. Look, the real big thing about this is the way they finish,
right?
Because we take a look at Jenny's puzzle, and you'll post a photo, I'm sure, so everybody who's watching can see. Her puzzle doesn't line up. The top board and the bottom board are in the wrong spots. They need to be switched.
Yeah.
And very clearly, they show that they don't match, and it says winner on the bottom. And so one of two things happened. Either production caught it at the time, made her redo it, and then they fucked up in the editing room, putting the wrong clip in for the final cut. Or production didn't notice this until later, until she was caught out and there was no recourse.
Yeah.
But either way, we get no clarity on this.
So Jenny did address this on, I believe it was Twitter. And she did say that she said the scene that they showed must have been, or the shot they showed must have been from a previous check, because she did have a previous check where she had gotten it wrong and then she had to switch some boards or whatever. However, the interesting thing about it is if you're watching the show, you can actually, when that shot is on the screen and Jenny's walking away and the little winner thing pops up, you can hear TJ still in the back saying like, yes, you won, you know, when he blew the horn or whatever. So that part makes it a little bit confusing for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I also haven't heard anybody else saying that.
Exactly. In fact, a bunch of the other cast, like, and the thing is like, you know, some of the other cast, like Jordan was one of the ones who pointed this out on his Instagram stories. You know, Kara kind of backed it up because she was sitting there, you know, and then we had the whole issue between, you know, Kara and Rachel, you know, arguing on Twitter about where they actually finished, like how far Rachel finished behind Kara, because in the edit, it looks like it was back to back. But Kara and Jordan swear up and down that they counted out loud, like counted together to 3 minutes. And it was even a little bit past that before Rachel actually finished. So had Jenny's puzzle been checked correctly and she didn't win first place, Kara would have ended up winning before, you know, Rachel finished. Anyway,
they need to get their shit together.
This whole situation is just, it was, I still don't quite understand exactly what happened, but I don't necessarily, I don't want to say that like, oh, I don't believe Jenny, but I'm just not buying that story that's being put out right now. It feels like something that production would put out, and I just don't buy it because things just don't line up.
This whole season has been a farce in situations like this, especially when it comes to, I mean, we've seen it in elimination.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and I'm not going to give names, but, you know, we were talking to someone who's on the show and talking about some of these questionable moments. And that person confirmed that even more like questionable things happened that weren't actually shown or that didn't get noticed by the fans. But like it was a consistent thing all season long.
What the fuck?
And here's my thing is this is the 40th season.
Yeah.
You've had 40 seasons to work out a formula on how shit works. So look, there's one of two things. Like I said, either production fucked up during the actual filming and didn't catch it, and somehow nobody else spot checked it. There was no redundancy to say, no, that's not right. Or they fucked up in the editing room. And either way, it's unacceptable for a show that's been on for 40 fucking seasons.
Yeah.
It just makes you look bad. It makes you look like this is Bush League shit. You know what I mean? And it, you know, people, I've seen a bunch of people like, oh, just let it go. It's just a reality show. Why do you care? It's like, I care because I'm a fan. And I want to believe in my heart of hearts that I'm not watching, no offense, but the WWE and everything's scripted in the back. I want to believe that some of this is actual real reality.
Yeah.
Not just scripted bullshit.
But they make it difficult to believe, you know? And the thing is like I was talking to some people, you know, on Instagram. Obviously, a lot of our followers have been wanting to talk about this, especially when it happened a couple weeks ago. And somebody had told me that, you know, they brought up a point that these little, because I had said, you know, if this was like an editing mistake, like why do that? Like why? Like, I just don't understand that as a video editor myself, I don't understand the idea of accidentally putting this shot in. Like it just, I can't envision how that would happen, how it would get through so many different steps, so many different people and make it to actually being put on the television. Right. And so this person said, you know, pointed out that, you know, sometimes like people, meaning like companies will do stuff like this for like rate baiting because they want us to talk about the show. And, you know, I don't necessarily know if I fully believe that, but it's also not something where I'm just like throwing the idea away because it's like, I could see them doing some shady shit, like purposefully doing stuff like this to get fans to rewatch the episodes over and over, to see that spot, to see that thing, to talk about the show, to post the clips, to do all of these things. And it makes their ratings go up, their watch views go up, their streaming go up, their, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I don't like get super deep into like the challenge fan conspiracy theories, but
that sounds like a good one to me.
I was just going to say, can we bring Marlon back for another conspiracy talk?
Right?
No shit, right? All right, so the way the daily ends up breaking down is Jordan comes in second as far as getting up to start solving the puzzles, but then smokes Kyland in the puzzle part.
But props to Kyland because he smoked the run and the puzzle transfer thing.
Dude's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
He's a fucking beast. So Jordan gets first. Bananas gets second, Kyland gets third, and Derek gets last place. So he's getting a 3-minute penalty to start off the final. For the women, somehow Jenny is still the winner. However that is. Cara finishes second, but because of her 3-minute penalty, she finishes behind Rachel. So now it's Cara and Tori and Rachel going down into the nomination room for the last women's elimination before we go into the final. During the nominations, they have to come up with an answer right there at that point. And surprise, surprise, Jordan's a man of his word. And he shook Rachel's hand and said, we're working together. And even though him and Tori have really rebuilt their relationship with Cara this season, he still puts her in after giving a pretty heartfelt speech about it.
Yeah, but you know what? Major props to Cara because she totally understood the situation. And even with it happening, you know, she still like had that, confessional where, you know, she understood. She understood why Jordan had to make the move. She didn't get upset. She didn't hold it against him. We've seen them hanging out, you know, her taking pictures of Jordan and stuff like that, and of Jordan and his girlfriend. And, you know, we've seen all this stuff since season 40, has been filmed. We see it all over social media. So it's just really nice to see that they were able to become friends, but still allow each other the room to uphold, previous arrangements and promises that they had had to other people, and then continue to still be friends and not let whatever happened in the game affect that they made up, And so I don't know. I really love it because I like when the strong players can like get along and be, and work together. And especially if it's like a strong male and a strong female, because that would be really interesting. Like seeing Jordan and Kara actively like work together on a season, whether they're partners or just like, number ones in an alliance together. Let's say like Tori's not there and Polly's not there or whatever. I think that would be really interesting. So I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. And it's going in depth on that. The next scene is we get Kara's birthday and Tori and Derek and Michelle plan a little birthday party for her in the bungalow that her and Tori are sharing. Secret lovers. But it was really cute. They got her like a black cake and, got everything.
So it was like her emo party.
Yeah. And, it sucked because she had to go into elimination with one of the people that she's gotten close with, which is Tori, which is weird to say, but it's true. And I'm here for it.
Dude, you know what, though? I just have to say I am slightly disappointed because I know that we've all been waiting for this, right? We've been waiting for the Tori versus Kara elimination since their like whole rivalry thing started.
War of the Worlds 2.
On War of the Worlds 2. And I'm so glad that they made up. And I'm also glad that it wasn't like a head-to-head thing. Because I don't know what kind of show we would have got with them having made up and then going into like a head-to-head physical battle. Yeah. I don't know what kind of show they would have gave us. It could have been like the Olivia Nerys type situation where, we didn't really get much of a show, a headbanger show with it. But at the same time, it's also like, and I feel kind of bad saying this, but it's also like, damn, we missed it. Like it could have happened at some point before season 40 where we could have had like Tori and Kara where they were still mad at each other, go into like a pole wrestle against each other. And it would have been a fantastic show. But we missed it.
Also like, damn, we're not getting them as rivals now.
I know, right? I don't know. Maybe they'll fight again.
I like it this way.
I do too. I really like that they were able to make up, doing this whole like birthday party, the whatever lengths that they had to go to get not just flowers, but to get her black roses, get her the black cake. Didn't they
she
also
said
like
Polly sent the flowers?
Get a letter from Polly or something like that?
I don't believe so. I don't remember. I think they wrote a letter.
Okay,
but I think it
was just very sweet.
And I get what you're saying, but I think the story arc is better because once you see, especially we're doing an abridged recap. In the beginning, you get this scene of Kara and Tori, and over the last couple episodes, a little bit we see is I think Tori is so free with expressing whatever she wants, whether it's a character that she's pretending to be or, whatever, that it shines the light on Kara and empowers Kara to be herself.
Yes,
and be very expressive and funny and silly and all of that.
And weird.
And Kara loves that. She just needs not necessarily the approval, but someone there with her on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they probably were both just being like little weirdos together.
Exactly.
Like just cracking jokes and being goofy. Because they really are like
just a bunch of silly gooses.
Similar.
And meeting Tori in person, I've got to witness it live. I mean, look at the video that she sent for saying happy birthday, and then she like changed her voice mid. Like, where the fuck are you? That's just Tori and her and Kara being like that together just warms my fucking heart, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point about, Tori and Kara is that, and I think that on our original recording, actually, we had talked about this and we actually kind of talk about it. We originally talked about it in the elimination, but I'm just going to say it now or I'll forget. Is that, Tori is the kind of friend that Kara needs and Kara is the kind of friend that Tori needs, right? Like at the end of the, when I think it was in the beginning or whatever, when Tori was like, super hyping Cara up when she was like, "Oh, you're a badass. You're gonna go in and like, you know, whatever." I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, where she's like, "No, you've got this." Yeah. In the beginning before the daily, yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of friend like Cara needs, and also like you said, like someone that she can just be weird with, because that used to be like her biggest issue. You know, in the earlier seasons when she first started. You know, the JEK Alliance, they used to fucking tease her because she was quote unquote weird.
I love weird people.
Yeah, exactly. And they would make fun of her for like the stupidest things, like sitting on the beach drawing in the sand, and they'd be like making fun of her. It's so fucking stupid. But that's what she needs, you know? And Tori needs the same thing. Like she needs someone that she can have fun with and just let loose with. So I just think that their friendship, it's like they've needed to be friends for a while now. And it's so nice to see it finally happen.
I think, you know, like most friendships, when it hits bumpy roads and goes through hard patches, it's because miscommunication. And, you know, hopefully, and from what I've heard Tori say on podcasts and from what I've heard Cara say, is they had an opportunity to really talk about their past and where the disconnect happened, and they were able to work through it and have an honest conversation. Do I think the format of this game helped? Yes. Oh, yeah. Immensely, because if women were voting women in, I think we may never see this happen.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So, yeah. Anyways, getting into this elimination, unless anybody else has anything else they want to say about it.
Well, I just like how at the beginning of this season, Cara was this one way and this one, like her storyline was this one way. And now it's just so different.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally like a flower at the end of her time being here.
Honestly, it's so weird to think back to like the Laurel stuff.
I forgot.
Because it honestly doesn't even feel like it was part of season 40. It feels like it was All Stars 4. And I have to remind myself that like that incident that happened in the kitchen, that was this season. Like that Cara was this same Cara.
Yeah.
You know, and not that was like a bad Cara or anything that, you know, with the scene in the kitchen with Laurel and all of that. I'm not saying that, but just there's just been so much growth with Cara, but even just from the beginning of the season to where she is now, it, like you said, it's like a whole different person. And I love it. I love Cara this season.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. And look, as much as it was good to see her back on All Stars, this was the season we needed from Cara as challenge fans. This reminded us of everything we love about Cara.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So, anyways, we get to the final elimination.
Lame name.
Where you have to jump into the ocean with some buoys tied in a circle around you and tread water all fucking night.
Yeah.
And look, it sounds kind of lame, but literally probably one of the most grueling endurance kind of exercises you can do to sit there and have to tread water for 2 hours in open water with a current and sea snakes trying to go up your bum.
Yep.
Right. Open unknown water.
I can't believe neither of them went underwater with the snake. I would have probably drowned.
Yeah.
I would have been slapping around.
Like, I'm done.
Probably like one of the most venomous sea snakes out there.
Right?
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I'd have probably got bit. My luck.
Right. And look, can most people tread water for an hour to 2 hours? Yeah, you can do it, right?
I don't know that.
But the minute they say put your hands out of the water and keep them out of your forearm, that is one of the most difficult exercises I've ever done in my life. And then they say keep your elbows out of the water and tread. You are doing nothing but kicking as much as you can, and your legs can only keep that up for so long with that resistance.
Yeah.
You know, that's Olympic swimming type of training. You know what I mean? But they end up doing 2 hours of treading water. Then they did 30 minutes of forearms above water. And then they went about 5 to 10 minutes of elbows above water. And that's where Tori took the win. Cara put up a hell of a fight, but the panic kind of set in, the how difficult this really was with the waves splashing over, and it was just a little bit too much for her to overcome. But it was a hell of a performance by Cara. And, you know, hats off to her. Not literally, but figuratively, hats off to her.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was surprised that, you know, that it went on as long as it did, but like neither one of them were going to give up. And I loved it. I loved seeing, you know, obviously I loved seeing Tori win, you know, but I actually really loved their little scene at the end of the elimination when Tori went over, gave Cara a hug and like pep talked her again. Like it just, it got to me.
I think I cried.
Yeah, literally. I think I
did.
I think my eyes at least watered up a little bit. It was a very sweet moment. And I just really loved that they at least like gave us that. I just feel like we've missed so many pieces to Tori and Cara's story this season. So, you know, I'm glad that they gave us that moment because I think that was a nice way to like kind of end out or like round out whatever happened this season, you know, and despite the fact that they had to go against each other in elimination, again, it's kind of like the Jordan thing where, you know, there was no real like animosity about it. And, you know, they ended on really good terms. And it was awesome to see that. And I thought it was so funny that as soon as that episode aired, Tori and Cara started following each other on Instagram, on social media, and started posting a bunch of pictures together. They've hung out a few times since season 40 stopped airing. And it was like, oh, so you guys were just, because that was something we talked about earlier in the season was, you know, well, I wonder if something happens and they start fighting again later in the season because they're not following each other on Instagram. So they're not friends right now. Like, that's why they were tricking us.
Yeah, they did a good job, honestly.
They're playing games.
They did better than production does.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
Honestly.
Stop playing games with my heart.
My
heart. But look, was it the elimination we all really want? No. But was it a good fucking elimination? Yeah. And I wouldn't be upset to see something like this again. Maybe not the one right before the fucking final.
Yeah.
Especially now that we know what the final is. That seems like an unfair setting for anyone to go into. With that being said, it's not like the challenge is fair
ever,
you know, even with dailies when it comes to solving puzzles.
Literally.
Jesus Christ. So that pretty much wraps up episode 17, other than Cara learning about karma points.
Oh.
And she's like, oh, that's why I haven't been able to talk to Pauly for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of made a lot of sense. She gives Rachel 5 stars, and then her and Rachel
she talks Rachel up and gives her 5 stars, calls her the queen, all this stuff. And then the day after the episode airs, Rachel's all over fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
Calling Cara out, calling her a liar, talking hella shit to Cara because Cara's saying that if Jenny had gotten, called out on her wrong puzzle, she would have ended up being in first place and never would have had to go into the elimination, and she would have been in the final. And Rachel insisting that, no, I finished before your 3-minute mark, whatever. But yeah, so I found that so funny that like Cara gave her five points in the karma thing. And then fucking just for it, she got called a fucking liar and, called out all over Twitter and shit. I was like, damn, dude.
But Jordan still supported her.
Yeah.
Even after that, too. So,
and everybody knows, like, look, I like Cara, but Cara's not my favorite. I am a Tori fan, but I would have much rather seen Jenny versus Tori in this elimination. Even if it meant Tori ended up going home, I think it would have been a lot better matchup, in my personal opinion. Nonetheless, it's not what happened. Here we are. And now let's go into episode 18.
Yes.
And which is the first part of the final. The end of an era, part 1. The end of these stupid fucking titles, part 1.
Hopefully.
So we get right into it. They're on the boat, the Sinister, which looks like the ghost ship.
They live there now.
Yeah, it's like the ghost ship. You know what it really reminds me of? The boat from the movie Anaconda.
Okay.
All right.
Low key, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Old and rusty.
So
I just know it's a boat I don't want to go on. I know that.
I got a boat, motherfucker.
Banana said it smelled like shit on the boat.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It probably smell like rotten bananas. See what I did there? Which also can smell like funky feet.
Ew.
Anyway,
sorry.
Moving on.
We're back.
What did you guys think? What's your here? Let's do our 30,000 foot view. What did you guys think about the part one of this final?
I mean, I liked that they had a lot of checkpoints. I wish there wasn't swimming both ways every single time. Like, watching people swim just isn't really that entertaining unless you're watching professional swimmers.
Right.
But I also just feel so bad for them having to do all that swimming. Like, in for Tori having to swim so fucking much the day before. But she enjoys the water. She's been training in the water, but still sucks. But I liked it. I don't really ever complain about the dailies or eliminations unless they're cheap as fuck.
Right.
No, agreed. If I was so finals are hard, right? Because I'm grading it against other finals and not other episodes of the season. Right now, B-. It's a really difficult final.
Yeah.
I wish there wasn't as much swimming, but because it's so swimming heavy, it's extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like they're swimming 500 meters from the beach to that boat. That boat's fucking out there.
And the water is chopping.
Yeah, and there's current, and swimming in the ocean is very different than swimming in a lake or a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's a whole other animal with other animals. So difficulty wise, it's up there for me from what I've seen so far. But it's not super entertaining to watch. Like you said, Alexis, you can only watch people swim for so long.
Swimming it's just not an equalizer. This is we're going to set you apart. We're going to find out you're either a good swimmer or a bad swimmer. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be nothing but swimming, and we find that out. And it's just, I give it a B-.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sitting right there too at around a B-. I see the difficulty of what they're having to do, but I just think that it's a bit excessive on the swimming thing. And like you said, Josh, there's a difference between knowing how to swim and being a good swimmer. And I think I said this on our Instagram stories, but you can know how to swim and still not be a fantastic, great swimmer or anything like that, fast and, whatever. But if you're not those things, you're not going to do well in this day one, no matter how much you're I know how to swim. If you're not a good swimmer, you're not great at swimming, you're not going to do well in this first part. And, like you said, Josh, it then makes the swimming not really an equalizer. It's just a disadvantage to people who, maybe don't live near open water and don't, you know what I mean? Because like Rick was saying, you can go train to swim in a pool or a lake or something, but that's never going to be the same as swimming out in the open water, swimming out in the ocean. I'm not enjoying that. I'm not enjoying how much swimming there is. I will say again, and I've been saying this all season. This season, a lot of the stuff in it very much reminds me of Rivals 2, and Rivals 2 final is one of my favorite finals. Now, it is very, very similar to this. The only difference so far is that instead of swimming laps, they were running laps around the little island. So they would jump off the boat, get to the island, and then they had their 4 or 5 checkpoints that they had to, and each checkpoint they had to do a lap around the island. So I'm curious, would you guys have preferred something like that where they had to swim to shore, do all 3 checkpoints, and in between each checkpoint you had to do a lap or whatever, trail they set for them, I don't know, they can make a little path or whatever, and they have to run that in between each checkpoint. And then when you're done, swim out to the boat. And then that's, the end of day one.
I feel that there would be more of an equalizer than setting it off as many times that you have to swim in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see it, but I think that would be much more enjoyable to watch and much more of a competitive for the challengers as well.
Here's my thing. In an ideal, I put some thought into this. Ideal final for this season for me would have been a 4-day final. 2 of them are overnights.
Wow.
So the first day you can do all swimming. You know what I mean? Like what they did on this first day, swimming and puzzles. The second day is endurance and strength, carrying stuff, doing 5-10 miles.
Jesus.
The third day is, jogging, like you hop off the boat, you swim to shore, and then you do like a 2.5 mile course with 3 or 4 puzzles with math and eating. And then the fourth day is you hop off the boat and it's like a 3-mile sprint. One of the overnights is what they're doing. The second overnight is we're going to feed you a whole bunch of really good food and get you comfortable and say, if you guys fall asleep, you get a 2-minute penalty to start tomorrow.
Like on the train.
For 2 minutes, I'd take my ass to sleep.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to sleep.
Or you know what I mean? Something like that. But make this the longest final in challenge history. Break it out into sections of what you normally do in a final. 1 day of swimming and puzzles. The next day of running, strength, and endurance.
I think you need to hit him up because that sounds pretty fucking awesome. And they should have done that.
Mr. Production, here we go.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I just feel like they missed an opportunity. Like this is supposed to be like our icing, our fucking, our angel on top of the fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Like make this shit shine. And I've been waiting for it all season, and it's not here. Instead, I'm getting karma points.
Well, let's do a quick comparison. Season 30 final versus season 40 final.
Oh, 30 to me is more entertaining.
More difficult up to this point?
I don't know if I would say it's more difficult. I think as far as what they have to do, the amount of swimming on top of the physical that I've seen thus far, because I'm only on day 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is more difficult. Season 30 was more entertaining, and it played to the theme of the show that you could sabotage the other players during the final. And I enjoyed that.
Season 30, I mean, you starting it off jumping out of a plane, you're getting injured by Jordan and still running and killing it.
Yeah.
And that was a fun, because I mean, that was a fun final to watch for me. And then you don't even know how people place until the reunion on both sides. And
you
didn't like that?
No, I'm too impatient.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how. Well, they would have known, but
no, they didn't. They said they didn't know, but
okay, yeah.
I mean, we all knew Jordan won that shit.
Yeah.
I do feel like that final was more entertaining, and I think this one is harder, but Jordan's just making it look so easy.
I know.
For him.
Dude, he's dominating this final.
He's like, swimming? Okay, I got this. He lives in the ocean. It's just like, I was like, the only other person that I'd really like to see here in this final, and Tony would love this, would be Jay. Because Jay lives in the water too. And to see him do something like this would have been awesome.
He is fast as fuck, dude, in the water.
I think Wes fucked up not doing this season.
Wes
too?
This was, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Wes was tailor-made for this. The only other person I could think of that could really dominate this would have been Tyler Duckworth.
Yep.
Because of his ability.
Tyler,
yeah. Well, depending, Tyler, if he's ready to run a final or not. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean, yeah.
Because he was an avid, and very good college swimmer. So, that was kind of my thing. Look,
Jordan is literally just, he's cakewalking this whole final. Like and that's my thing, is I almost hope that day 2 has something different, because as much as like I would love to see Jordan win his, what would this be? Fifth win? As much as I would love to see Jordan get his 5th win, I would at least like to see it be a bit of a competition, right? Like he's literally got like almost no competition at this point. He's first to the boat every time, and nobody's even close to him. You know what I mean? So other than, I guess, the first checkpoint, Derek was, kind of on his ass, but I mean, I want to see the standings change a little bit. I'd like to see maybe, not like wishing anything bad on Jordan, but I want to see other people have a chance of coming in first. But if they're in the water, I don't think anybody there has a shot at beating Jordan.
No. And here's my thing. The water has been an equalizer. It's just been equalizer for a person we didn't think, and that was Kyland.
No. I don't want to see this for Kyland.
This is taking Kyland from the top 2 competitors all season, and he is struggling. And, look, if you haven't swam in the ocean a bunch and you haven't done long distance swimming, this one's not going to be fucking easy.
No.
You know what I mean? Just plain and simple.
Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing Kyland's little aggro self come out, like pissing on the sign and like, fuck this final, fuck all this swimming. He was like, I'm going to build myself a boat and fucking row back over there. I've got the time. Like,
gotta be fucking Aquaman to win this shit.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And Aquawoman.
When he first started pissing on the sign, I was like, oh my God, I thought he was just pissing on like the post part of it. And then when he like moved out of the way, it's like all over the written part of the board where like everybody has to like read shit and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking petty. I love that so much. And then I was like, wait, the fucking fans better not come for Kyland over this. Like, and
fuck off. Johnny put his asshole out there.
I know. And I was like, they better not be a bunch of little crybaby bitches about this. And they haven't been. Good. So I'm very happy about that.
Dude, I loved every second of it. It was awesome. And when he walks, he's like, you see that? That's my piss.
He marked his fucking territory on that shit.
I would like to see more of that, Kyland, to be honest.
This is how pissed I
am. Yeah, look, I'm all for watching people throw fits. Like, that's
literally
funny. Like watching Johnny have a tantrum at the last final where he was like swinging around that board and like breaking the flag and throwing the bricks down. Like, that shit was hilarious to me. I loved it.
He has to pay for that too.
I do too, except for Jenny's on the way the first night. That was a little much, but other than that, everything else was, I like that stuff.
Honestly, I'm excited to see her fit on next episode because it's going to cause Jordan to have a fit, and I love Jordan's fits. I love when Jordan fucking blows up and snaps on people, so I'm excited for that one. I'm like, let's fucking go.
So, all right, here, let's kind of go over some of these checkpoints, and then before I do that, though, I want to ask you guys, based on what we're seeing so far, it doesn't look like this is a timed event. I think these tokens are going to be added up, and whoever has the lowest score is going to be considered like your winner. Is that what you guys are thinking on this?
Yeah.
The lowest score is going to be the winner?
Well,
yeah, because if you get first place every time, you're only going to get 1 point, right? So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think I did see like a chart made somewhere that had like scorings, and they might have scored it like that. I don't really know what I expect, to be honest. And I haven't this whole time. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with these points.
I think it's going to be opposite. I think like they're going to do some stupid shit where like your first place is 4 points and second place is 3 points and second place or third place, whatever the fuck. I'm already confused. Anyway. So I think they're going to do that because TJ literally told him the person with the most points at the end of the final is going to get an advantage, and the person with the least amount of points is going to get a severe disadvantage. And I know he was talking about the karma points, but I just don't know how you have high karma points mixed with low daily point. Like, I hope they're not doing that because that's just too fucking convoluted. Like, they need to just.
They'll just figure it out when they get there.
I hate the karma points.
Well, they're going to use challenge math to get to the end. But no, I agree with what you said. I agree. Like, the first place is going to be like 4 points. and stuff like that.
It's going to be like in reverse.
Yeah. In either way, that's fine. I was just wondering, do you think that's how they're going to score the final?
Yes.
My secondary thing is I fucking hate the karma points. And the main reason I hate it is because you're not telling me still what it is. So that gives you guys wiggle room to say whatever the fuck you want when we get to the final, the end of it.
Yeah.
So if you want to see so-and-so, you'd be like, oh, guess what? Rachel has the most points. So she gets 15 more points.
Where you mean because nobody's seeing the karma points for real?
Yeah, there's no transparency. So there's too much ambiguity.
Like, we don't even know
as the
what
viewer.
The score is. Like, why couldn't we see a scorecard throughout the season? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, it's just, and I know that it wouldn't have mattered in the fucking edit because they could have put whatever and they'd already done it and they could have made their, but it's just, this is why I don't like this point system. It can be fucked with, and I don't like that. And, you know, I don't like the idea that somebody could come in fourth or third and then end up getting some popularity points and end up in first place, taking home the almost $500,000, even though they fucking blew ass in the final. I don't like that idea. And the fact that if you watch the, you know, next time on, we get a clip of TJ saying, all right, guys, you know, these are the final standings, but we do have some changes with the karma points. So the karma points do change the actual final. Because, like, let's say everybody finishes the final and then they get their karma points and nothing changes. They're still in the same positions. Cool, great, whatever. Your karma points were stupid. But the fact that we know that the standings are going to change based off of the karma points, I'm simply hoping that it's not first place that changes. Because if it is, I'm going to be even more upset.
Could you imagine if they go, Jordan, you got first in every single one, but Derek doubled your score in karma, so Derek's the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, I would be so confused.
Honestly, I don't know what to expect. I've tried to think in my mind too, like, what if that happens for Kyland? And Kyland is the winner because, well, I don't know though, because, well, I mean, how many people did he piss off? Jenny's still there and he pissed her off the most.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyland.
But like,
yeah.
I mean, I've thought about that. Like, what if he goes from being last to like actually being able to be in first and none of it mattered?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the fucked up thing, right?
It's high school all over again. I only hear because I'm popular at this level or whatever. But it's just
nobody likes Johnny. So
well, and here's the thing is like, and shout out to Zach and Pierre at Zach Nichols podcast, because they said it best. Like, this only benefits people that didn't actually have to work to get to the final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you got thrown down in one eliminations, you had to name names. And that made you a target and made people feel certain types of way about you.
Mm-hmm.
So incentivizes you to be a floater and not have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're absolutely right on that.
Well, and I had somebody submit on our stories. I had put up, you know, our little question box for anonymous thoughts on this episode. And I had somebody point out that, you know, they thought that it was a mistake for TJ to even say anything to the cast about the karma points before they started the final, because the person thinks that it's causing people like Bananas and potentially Kyland to, you know, not be like fully in it mentally because they're already worried about the karma points. Like, Bananas knows he's not going to get good karma points. So is he actually like trying as hard as he can because he knows there's a good chance he's not going to win? He can't beat Jordan in the water and he knows these points are going to fuck him up. So is Bananas giving this final everything he has, or is he just kind of doing it to, you know, get his check and go home? Like,
yeah, but how funny would it be if he got to the end and Bananas is the fourth place who doesn't get any fucking money?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, and
I
think it's doing the exact opposite for Jordan. It's incentivizing himself to say, look, I don't give a fuck what these karma points do. I'm going to do so well that they don't affect me.
Well, he called it.
That's totally Jordan.
Operation Avoid the Karma Points. Like, that's what he said after the second checkpoint or whatever. He was like, Operation Avoid the Karma Points is in full motion or whatever. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he's trying to make it so that it doesn't fucking matter how many points he got or didn't get. He's trying to just make sure he comes in first on every single checkpoint, you know, and I mean, that's a good strategy too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the first checkpoint we get is called Sandblast. Fucking stupid. You should have called it Surf and Turf. You know what I mean? Anyways, Derek starts this one off with a 3-minute penalty. They have to jump off the Sinister, and it looks like a minimum, maybe 1,500 meters, maybe 2,000 meter swim. Like it's a distance. You know what I mean? So, you know, what they have to swim to shore from the Sinister, about 1,500, maybe 2,000 meters. Could have been longer, but that's what it looked like based on what we're seeing from film. And then they go from there. They have to run down the beach a good half mile, pick up some puzzle pieces, run back to where they have to solve, and they have to make 5 trips?
It's 5 trips, and they have to put the puzzle together, and then they have to swim back to the boat.
And so they do this, and the way it breaks down, Jordan, no surprise. Michelle, first place, surprise.
What?
She fucking smoked Jenny, Tori, and Rachel on this one.
Snaps, girl. Did she kill it in the water?
Snaps.
I don't know if I've just never heard before that she was on a swim team in high school, but
I didn't know.
That was news to me this episode. So, yeah, that was awesome.
Well, she's got an advantage from being on Survivor because a lot of their dailies are in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is facts, actually. Second place was Derek and Jenny. So Derek fucking ate that 3-minute penalty and still smoked over half the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he fucking killed it, dude. I'm so proud of Derek. Like, I can't even say like how much fun it's been to watch him this season because we've never gotten to see this side of Derek, you know? And it's so cool to just see him, like, see somebody like Derek, right? Who can just be goofy and silly and funny and wear makeup and wigs and like all the things that, you know, like make people uncomfortable, and then go out there and fucking kick their asses and wreck them in a very difficult final. Like, I love Derek because he's just like, he's multifaceted. Like, he's got all the sides. And I love him so much. I think I said this on our Instagram stories, but he's just such a good guy. And it's so easy to root for Derek. And I love him. And I'm so happy to see him doing so good. It was so cool to watch him be like right on Jordan's ass after having the penalty. You know, and everybody else is stuck on the beach struggling. And, you know, it was just, it was so cool. I love him so much.
He said, like, wait until they give me a chance and don't send me home first.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's been saying, wait till they actually give me a chance.
Low key, I hope they get them out of the water on day 2 because I want to see these two compete. I want to see Jordan and Derek compete in like a distance run.
Yeah. Same.
Because it's going to be good.
Yeah.
How much taller do you think Derek is than Jordan?
I don't think it's that much, but then again, I haven't really paid that close of attention.
Yeah.
I feel like Derek, he looks tall. I mean, he looks like, I kind of imagine him to be as tall as Sam. Like, he looks over 6 foot to me.
I don't know.
When he's running, I mean, those legs look like they've got a big stride.
He looks like a fucking gazelle, just light on his feet. You know what I mean? So Bananas and Tori get 3rd place, and Kyland and Rachel get 4th place. Checkpoint 2, they take off down the coast a little bit, and they have to swim probably 500 meters, maybe 750 meters to the ghost ship. Once they get there, they have to dive underneath the boat, memorize a puzzle that's on the bottom, and then recreate it at their puzzle station. This one was kind of surprising based on Michelle, because Michelle's a puzzle queen. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And she struggled on this one. This one kind of caught her by surprise.
This one got her with that
pressure.
Barrel.
First final pressure.
Damn monkey.
So first place on this one, surprise, surprise, Jordan for the guys. Jenny smokes this one.
Yeah, she did.
Gets first place. Bananas, don't call it a comeback, gets 2nd. Tori gets 2nd. Derek and Rachel get 3rd, and Kyland and Michelle get 4th. Starting to add up for Kyland here. There's 2 4th place finishes in a row, and that's going to be hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for the guy. We'll talk about him after. We'll talk about him in a minute. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. So after they get done with this, the next one is checkpoint 3. Was it 1,000 steps or 10,000 steps?
1,000 steps.
Well, all right. Well, I would walk 5,000 miles.
And I would walk 500 steps to be that man who would walk 500 miles.
I'm not walking 500 miles for anything.
I barely walk to the fucking store. It's hard for me to walk to the fridge. Do you know what I mean?
My kid asked me the other day, he's like, we were going to the store or something like that or something. I don't know. But he was like, are we walking or taking the car? And I was like, no, we're driving, bro. And he goes, yeah, why don't we walk? And I was like, because we have a car. Like, why would I walk if I could just get in the car and drive? Like, just get in the car and shut up, bro.
Good.
Anyways, for checkpoint 3, 1,000 steps, they've got to once again swim like 1,500 to 2,000 meters to shore. Who knows? I'm just assuming at this point, no one really fucking knows.
Because of course they don't tell us the distance.
Yeah.
But it looks far.
It is far. And then once they get there, they have to take 1,000 steps collecting clues along the way to solve a mystery and then swim back to the boat. Basically, they have to do a lap around this fucking island to go out to a platform on the beach to see a skull painted on a group of palm trees and then go solve a little 9-piece puzzle.
Yeah.
The trick is, though, if you call check on this puzzle and you're wrong, you get to do the whole lap over again.
Yeah, you can't just fix try to guess and fix the puzzle. Yeah. You have to go look again.
So Tori's the only one who had to go back.
Yes.
I wrote in my notes, why is she going back?
Yeah, she had to. That was part of the rules for this checkpoint, was if you checked it wrong and you were wrong, you had to go back.
Which I actually liked. It sucked what happened to Tori, but I like the fact that they made them do this.
I do like when they make them go back and relook at the puzzle.
Yeah.
Or the answer key, whatever.
The first place finisher on this one, Jordan and Jenny. There's nothing wrong with the record. That's really what's just happening. It's just the same people finishing first right now. Second place is Bananas and Michelle. Michelle coming in hot, 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Then we get third place, Derek and Rachel, and fourth place is Kyland and Tori.
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying, like, the water was the equalizer for Kyland.
Yeah.
It brought him back to earth, which is shady to say, but because I wanted to see him do really good. I think he had a real shot of maybe competing head to head with Jordan and pushing him pretty hard.
Well, and that's why I'm hoping that day 2 brings us, like, maybe they're on land and, running around doing checkpoints and stuff, like, and, I think that like would be a better, a final better suited for Kyland, obviously, if they didn't have to, swim both ways every single checkpoint, like, and not just on Kyland, like, almost everyone's struggling with the long distance swims except for Jordan.
Well, no, even he was puking his fucking guts out.
Yeah, even Jordan was struggling, you know? So like, and that says something. Like, if Jordan is struggling with it, then you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult.
Like, literally on that last, it might not have even been the last swim, might have been the first swim. He was laying there is when Banana was like, hey guys, it's a white whale. Right before that, Jordan, they said something about Jesus, and Jordan was like, that's what got me through this last swim.
Oh yeah.
Like, he was pushing himself.
Yeah.
It's just, God, it's a lot of fucking swimming.
It is.
It's a lot of fucking swimming.
And no one's using those things. Like, I would be holding on to it and like kicking my feet, right?
Yeah.
A little light.
But no one's using them that way. They're just dragging him like a tail.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just because you get so much more speed using your arms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're swimming like that, especially against the current.
I would drown.
Yeah. None of them are wearing life jackets either, which is wild. They're almost always wearing life jackets on this fucking show.
Yeah, it is
right,
weird.
We've seen them in rivers or creeks with life jackets, and they're in the ocean with no life jacket.
Literally.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
It's an odd choice. Like, I don't know why they did that.
It's low-key dangerous. It really is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, had they had a life jacket on, would that have helped or hurt Kyland more?
Well, I'm surprised that no one has had to be rescued.
Yeah. Well, and that was my thing is like, what if, obviously he was in a safe location when it happened, but what if Kylan had that cramp when he was not able to touch the ground in the water, when he was out, swimming out back to the boat or something, and obviously they have divers and stuff like that in the water. And so he, it's not like he would have fucking drowned and died there, but still, it's just, it's dangerous to not have them in life jackets.
Yeah, 100%. So the next checkpoint that we get is going to be the overnight checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically what you get to do is you get to count a bag of thousands and thousands of coins individually and put them into a piggy bank for 30 minutes at a time. And then when that's up, you get to go up on deck and everybody gets to sing a song together for 30 minutes over and over again. And then you get to go back and count more coins and repeat the process until the bag of coins is gone. I fucking love this overnight. It's not, it might not be the best, but this is torture.
Oh, yeah.
This is pure, unadulterated torture.
Derek loved it at first, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mental fucking torture.
Yeah. After about the third time singing that song for 30 minutes,
You've all watched Jaws, right?
Yeah, no shit, right?
That song is on Jaws. They sing that on Jaws.
They do?
That's crazy.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Stats and info is not here tonight. I had to provide something.
This overnight challenge for me, I'm excited to see the outcome of it because there's going to be some blow ups from this.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I just got to say, first of all, I don't blame those blow ups because I would lose my mind. If I was trying to count something and somebody was just like constantly talking and complaining, I'd be like, I'm going to fucking fight you, especially because you can't get the coins back out to start over. So if you lose count, you're fucked. Like you just have to guess and you know what I mean? Or just don't put the coins in, try to make little piles, but then you're on the water. So they're going to, you know what I mean? Tip over and I don't know. So
I've lived on a ship. And I was a totally different atmosphere, and we've had blowups, and I could only imagine having to deal with this and the blowups that are coming.
You can't get off the ship either. You're just stuck on there.
Yeah. At least I could go to the gym or go play basketball or go watch TV.
Yeah.
We can't do any of that shit.
You hear it. You hear Jordan yell out, "Shut the fuck up." I was like,
yeah.
Woo!
It's about to get hot. All right.
Let's go. No, but I honestly like part of me enjoyed this little part of the overnight challenge just because like both parts of it just brought a lot of nostalgia for me. The singing reminded me of on Rivals 3 when they had to do that daily challenge, that overnight daily challenge with the 3 boxes of different sizes and all the random events that would happen. And like the first one was the mariachi band that came and played that same song like 7 fucking times. And they were just over it by the time it was done.
The motorcycles, the jugglers, the dancers.
The guy who was on fire.
Serving tacos.
Mm-hmm, the donkey with the tacos. And then the iguana, Alberto. And so anyway, it reminded me a lot of that part. And so I was like, oh, that's fun. They kind of incorporated that. And then the coin thing, the tedious work of the coin thing, reminded me a lot of the bead stringing challenge from the Invasion of the Champions final, where they, had to sit there and just string beads on put beads on the string as long as they could and try to get it as far down the beach as they could. And they all fucking ended up like cheating and stopping early to like try to sneak in, like go sit down and eat some Spam and food. And they got fucking busted by TJ and all of that. But so that little bit of tedious work there, just having to sit there and put the coins in and keep count, reminded me a lot of that. So I do appreciate that they're like pulling in pieces from other iconic seasons and other iconic finals and trying to incorporate them into the challenge. But I also feel like it's just, I don't know, like some of the things like fall a little bit short. Like I like the song thing, but I just don't, I don't know. Like, I also feel like I hope they don't show us too many of those clips Next
Mhm.
episode,
Right.
I'm gonna get fucking bored with it. You know.
I'm gonna be honest. I hope they show us more clips of Jordan rapping it.
Oh my god! Did you guys notice that?
Well, I was gonna say everybody up there is like kind of musically inclined. Like not every single person, but like Johnny plays the guitar. Tori and Jordan have both made music together. Derek's been singing. Like that's a
Karaoke,
fucking
yeah.
sing-along crew.
Yeah.
Like if I was gonna have to be singing with anybody, it'd be them. That's who I'd want.
Apparently, Jenny wasn't singing. Like,
Well, because she was bitching.
Well, that's my thing is like, are you like, did she have to save her voice for all the complaining she did while counting coins? And what the fuck happened to her hair?
oh my
God.
Oh my
Derek's
god!
little commentary when he's
Yeah.
like, "And what the fuck is up with your hair?"
What the fuck is wrong with your
Cracks me
hair? I
up.
love him.
You know it's bad when Derek gets aggravated. You know
I
what
know,
I mean?
and honestly, I was thinking it, so I'm glad he said it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So,
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm excited to see this next part because, especially now knowing that, because I didn't catch the part about Michelle being on a swim team and all that.
Mhm.
Because in the next time on, they show her the next one. She's like, I need to get out of this fucking water. And like, there was real panic there.
Yeah.
So I want to know what the situation was that led her to someone that seems fairly comfortable in the water to be like, no, get me the fuck out of this right now.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see the next time on. I was very impressed with Michelle this season's or this episode. So instead of doing like, you know, an MVP, I'm going to do like a most surprising player. And I'm going to give that one to Michelle because I honestly, like, I didn't expect her to be doing as well as she did. And that's nothing against her. I think she's a great competitor and she had a great season. It's just that the other girls that are in the final, like, they're fucking badasses. And it's hard to beat those girls at anything, you know? So for for Michelle to be beating like Jenny, Tori and Rachel, you know what I mean? Like, it's just super cool. Major props for Michelle. So I'm giving her like my most surprising player. But I did have one final question before we get into, win predictions and, MVPs, if you guys have them or whatever, with how great Jenny is doing. We got a confessional from Rachel where she's like, oh, I'm used to winning, blah, blah, blah. But there's Jenny. And it got me thinking, like, do you guys think that Rachel maybe like regrets a little bit, like aligning the way that she did with literally probably the girl that's going to end up beating her in this final, like has a really good chance of beating her in this final? Or do you think like Rachel's happy because like it's her friend? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I'm hard to read Rachel.
To be honest, I feel like Rachel's said some things lately that are I don't want to say she's not a girl's girl, but like she's not like, if you're strong, I want to compete. She's like, if you're strong, I need to get you the fuck out of here.
Right.
But like, I don't know that we expected Jenny to be as strong in the final as she is.
But that's my
I see
thing.
on here, where did Jenny's asthma go? And I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah. And that's my thing is that like Rachel saw that, right? She saw the whole asthma attack thing before they even went individual and made their Bananas Angels alliance. So like, did she maybe like, oh, this is a great girl to work with because she's strong, whatever, but I know I'm going to beat her in the final because she struggles with the endurance part because of her asthma. So that'll be fine. I can have a strong girl to work with during the season, but I know I can beat her versus working with somebody like Tori, who is a very strong girl, but she could also potentially beat me in the final. You know what I mean? So like now that she's in the final against Jenny, it's Jenny beating her. And it just makes me wonder if like Rachel's looking back on her fucking choices like,
No, I don't think so yet. I think what we're seeing is Rachel's disappointment in her own performance.
oh, for sure.
I think Rachel expects herself to always finish first, and she's up against it. Like, this is steep competition. And even from Michelle, like, Michelle is showing why she won Survivor. Like, she's no fucking joke when it's coming down to this, really. Yeah. And I'm super impressed by her.
Yeah.
Obviously, really, if it wasn't for Jordan and Tori being in this final, I would be rooting for Michelle and Derek.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
As far as the Jenny's asthma thing, number one, there's a fan like conspiracy theory going around that it was fake and Jenny was faking it to like psych out the other players all season so they'd keep her around and thinking she couldn't run the final. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Honestly, what I think it comes down to is that we're just not seeing the actual scenes of her struggling. You know, because of the way that they're editing it. Also, maybe swimming isn't as difficult for her as running. And so we might see more on day 2 or whatever. But the first checkpoint, the one where they had to run the 5 laps, that's the only one she did not come in first place. So I'm wondering if it's really the running that, like, you know, she struggles with. Somebody else brought up, like, you know, it might be less hot where they are. So it's not, you know, so I don't know about that, but I do.
Or even the altitude.
Yeah,
you know, stuff like
they're
that.
at sea level. So,
you know,
and it looks kind of flat.
Yeah.
So besides the 1,000 steps.
And maybe being right there on the coast, the humidity isn't as bad. You're getting a lot more wind.
Fresher air.
Where in Vietnam, they were in the jungle, like inland, a fair distance where you're going to pick up a lot more humidity.
Well, they said it was super humid there. Like, I don't remember who we talked to, but
Kyland.
Oh, Ryan or Kyland or somebody mid-season.
People, yeah.
Who came and did recaps with us or whatever. And it was very, very humid there. So,
yeah, no. So let's start wrapping this up. I don't necessarily have an MVP. Shout out to Jordan for just absolutely fucking dominating this. I'll save my MVP for the actual end of the final, and then I'll have an MVP for the season. But as far as my prediction, kind of hard not to say Jordan's not going to win this shit. He's won everything so far. And then girls wise, I mean, look, I think it's easy to say Jenny and as easy as it is to say Jordan, but I'm going to say Michelle.
Oh,
I think she's going to surprise us.
Oh, I like that. I'm just going to follow yours up. I'm sticking with Jordan. He's dominating. He's been my male pick since the start of the season. So I'm going to stick with Jordan. And you know what? I'm actually going to stick with Tori. I think day 2, she's going to come back. She's going to, I think they're not going to be in the water the whole time and they're going to be on land. And that's where Tori excels, is long distance running. So, I'm going to say that Tori's going to make up some time, and I'm going with Jordan Tori.
I like it. Who you got, Josh?
I'm siding with Rick. I'm going with Jordan and Michelle.
I like it.
Hive mind.
I mean, I agree, but I want Derek to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I also want Kyland to win.
I want them all to win.
I know.
Except
it's like, it's hard.
Except for Bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense, you just won too much.
Maybe we'll have a 3-way first place tie.
With karma points.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
They would just give it to Jordan at that point, let's be honest.
Yeah.
For women, honestly, Jenny like really surprised me. She's gotten first in a lot of them, but I'm interested to see none of these people's karma points would affect them at all because they don't get to pick at all. And I don't know. I don't know who I think's gonna win. The whole season I've been like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not even factoring in the karma points.
Oh, I'm not either. I'm just thinking about who I think is going to cross the finish line first. I didn't factor in karma points either.
If I'm doing that, then I'm going to have to go Jordan and Jenny.
Yeah, it's hard
I don't want to.
Yeah. I don't want to.
Well, all right, before I close us out, does anyone else have anything they want to put out there as far as this episode or looking forward to the next episode? Oh, Josh does have a shout out. Josh, hit that shout out.
So we have a listener, an amazing listener across the pond, that goes on the Twitter handle DRK. She is freaking amazing. She is a fan for life, like a day one fan of the challenge, and surprisingly a fan of our podcast for some reason. But she loves us. She loves the podcast. She's reached out to me personally when I've posted personal stuff on Twitter. She's just all around awesome. And I just wanted to say hi, and we appreciate you.
We love you. Thank you so much for all your support. We appreciate it.
No, absolutely. We really do. And to know that other people like to hear us bullshit about our favorite show is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Josh, you're a brave man for putting private stuff out there on Twitter. I'll just say that.
I said, fuck cancer.
That's fair. That's fair.
That was the post, just so you know. And then she reached out, and it just awesome from there. But yeah, that's what the post was. And yeah, that was
great.
Sorry to make light of this, but every time that goes off, I'm like, Alexis is Jack Bauer in 24. Like, the fucking spy. There's a bomb that's about to go off. Anyways.
It's just my baby monitor dying.
That was close. Anyways, that wraps it up for us. Look, we got one episode left of 40.
Yes.
We're going to come in hot next week. Maybe have the whole fucking team on. We don't know what's going to happen.
I think everybody.
We don't know what's going on.
Who knows? We might bring on a special guest like Drake. I'm joking. There's not enough time for that. Yeah, he's too busy with his freestyles.
Thought you were going to say Gus Gus.
And he's dead.
He's with us every week. We do have his best friend, my boss.
Yep.
I love this.
Oh my God.
Punch this motherfucker.
Oh my God.
So
it says boss on it. So
yeah, that's why I haven't taken it to work. Because my boss would talk to me and be like, "Well, motherfucker." We're a real serious podcast here.
Very serious.
Yeah. We made it to the end.
I got one more thing to comment before we go out.
Yeah.
Show me the way to go home.
Oh no.
My God.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it's gone straight to my head.
I'm sure a drink would have helped them fucking endure this at least.
Oh, they were
they're not even eating.
Yeah, they're running on natural endorphins right there. Which is kind of like what we're doing for this season. I just feel like we're running on fucking getting through it. But like I said, we got one more episode. We're going to come in hot. But until then, we bid you adieu. For myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes, Alexis, Tex Rawson, and Josh motherfucking Chambers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you like what you've heard, you're already like 2 hours into this bitch. Subscribe, like, rate us 4 stars, 5 stars, anything less than that. You're a fucking hater. With that being said, bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Later.
I'm rich, biatch.
God.